All right, Samantha Brown, welcome to the Fromily and welcome. Thank you so much for making the time to talk to me today. How are you doing?
I am doing well. I'm excited to be here. I need to say that I love your channel so much. I've watched
Oh,
almost every single one of your episode reviews. You are so good at what you do, and we appreciate you so much. Your content
you
is.
better stop. You better stop.
I just
Stop.
started.
That is fine. Listen, I appreciate it. I appreciate it, and I appreciate you. So a lot of people might not be familiar with you since you're like just coming into the show. But you're not new to the horror sci-fi genre at all. I mean, you've been in what The Sinner, Why the Last Man,
Chucky,
what else?
yeah, horror, yeah.
Chucky, yeah, What We Do in the Shadows. So, like, what exactly was it that brought you to From? Like, what drew you in?
I, First of all, I just got the audition, so I was just an
Oh,
actor looking for a job.
okay.
But the role, like, I got the information. It was like a rookie police officer, new to From. I knew about the show. A lot of my family and friends watched the show, so they were saying it's great. What a great opportunity! And I thought it's always the roles that you really want that you never end up getting. So in between my initial audition and my callback, I started watching From. I was like, I'm gonna watch one episode and just see what the tone and the vibe is. And I was immediately hooked after that first episode. And I thought, if I don't get this, I'm going to be even more devastated because now I'm addicted to it. So thank God that it rolled my way. And then, 2 weeks later, I was out in Halifax with everyone. So
I love it. So it sounds like you just confirmed my From challenge that I usually throw out to people, which is like just watch the first 8 minutes, and
yeah,
if you're hooked, that's it. Like
such a good pilot episode. Yeah.
fantastic, fantastic. So, like, how has your experience been on set? Especially joining with all this crazy stuff that's going on.
Yeah, so it was surreal because I binged the first two seasons once I got the role. And you go from sitting at home on your living room couch in your pajamas, like watching these actors. And then 2 weeks later, you feel like you've been transported inside your television and you are now in the world of From. And what was surprising to me was I didn't know that the entire town is actually built. All the structures
Mm,
are there, Colony House, the sheriff's station, the church, everything. So you really did feel like you were transported into this like little mini From universe. And
mm.
meeting the actors, it's a huge ensemble cast. So there was a dinner, so I got to meet everyone in advance of filming. But my very first day on set was the action sequence that you see in episode 4 when Acosta pulls her gun and the EMT's throats get slashed. So it was a chaotic first day for sure. It was a night shoot, negative 20 degrees Celsius. It was my first time meeting the crew. So my adrenaline that day was high, but it was a good first day.
I could only imagine, especially just being thrown in a scene like that. Oof.
Yeah, but I
Oh,
guess like in the moment, I was nervous, I was anxious. I thought this is exactly what Acosta is feeling in this moment. Like, where am I? Who are these people? What is going on? So it just fed the seed.
actually, when you put it that way, that makes perfect sense to just throw you in and just be like, go. So
Yes, zero
I
acting
love
required.
that.
Yeah.
I love it. So a lot of whenever I talk to the cast, they always talk about how like John is like super secretive about everything. And he doesn't reveal anything, obviously. And everyone is like kept in the dark. So what was your experience been like? So like what has it been like when they've given you the script? And has it been any different compared to like any of your past roles?
Yeah, so this is the first time I've worked on a project where I've been completely left in the dark the
Mm,
entire shoot. And at first, since I was new to that process, I was a little bit frustrated, not with the creative team, but just with that aspect of not knowing what was going to happen. Because I'm a very type A person. I like to be in the know. I'm very organized. I like to know what's happening next. And so I was a little bit fish out of water with this production because I wasn't used to that type of work. But now looking back, I love that they don't tell us anything because it really helps you genuinely in the moment. You only know what your character knows in that scene. So you don't have to be thinking of, okay, I know this because John told me this at dinner, but my character doesn't know this yet, but then she's going to know this soon. So it just kind of cut the fat on the whole process and just kept it lean where what I know as Samantha in that moment is what the character knows. So I actually prefer it now.
So that's kind of interesting because I was wondering if not knowing would have given you more leeway to like interpret her character in different ways. But are you saying like maybe that wasn't the case, or
I think
like how did that help?
it made it easier, right? Because you're
Mm,
not trying to play what John has told you or what where you think Acosta is going. Like even, when in episode 5 she walks into the sheriff's station and, has that sort of tense scene with Boyd, I had, if I knew, and this isn't to say anything, like if John had told me, "Oh, you and Boyd are going to be cool in the future," then maybe that would have informed subconsciously my performance in that scene. But I genuinely have had no idea at that moment what would happen with Acosta and Boyd. Were they going to have a tense relationship going forward? Were they going to team up? Who knows? So I just literally played that scene as real as possible. Like, I have no idea who you are, what's going to happen to us, and how our dynamic will be going forward. So it made it easier.
okay. Now we're gonna talk about that in a second because I got
Woo!
some thoughts. I got some thoughts on
As
that.
do I.
But you know, everyone that gets on this show, and I know all the cast was asked this before, so now it's your turn. If you had to pick, Samantha, you saw the fallen tree, you're in the town. Are you picking Colony House or the town?
Without a doubt, I'm picking town. I'm
Okay.
sleeping at the sheriff's station. I want to be where the weapons are. I wouldn't go over to Colony House for breakfast. Okay. Too much. I love the people there, but too much of a liability. I wouldn't even walk up the hill. I'm not. Yeah.
I respect the decision and I totally
What
understand.
about you? What would.
Oh man, listen, I'm not ready for the type of parties that go down
No.
in Colony House. I'm
Yeah.
not. Those days are long gone
Yeah. I've
from
been
my
there now.
college days, so I don't need to live that life anymore. I'm good. I'm
Yeah.
good. Um, so you're new to the show, but you're also kind of sort of fresh meat, right? So what is the mindset going into a show like this where your character could be dead, eaten up by a monster or something, or stuck in a pool like the very next day? I don't know. Like, what is that mindset for you?
Yeah, so well, I didn't realize that. So we get the scripts 2 at a time. We film 2
Okay.
episodes at once, and you only get the episodes sent to you that your character is in. So you automatically know if you're getting the episode that you're going to be in that episode, right? And I've been told that if they kill you off, John will call you. He gives you a courtesy call in advance. So every time I kind of got word that the scripts were coming out, I would just be like looking at my phone, like, "Don't call me. I don't want to see John's name come on my phone." And then when you get the episode sent to you, you're like, "Okay, I'm in it. I'm alive. I don't know for how long." And obviously, I can't speak to anything further because you don't know if Acosta will live or die. So,
Right. I was gonna say, do you get a gift basket or something nice too?
no, I just buy myself the gift basket. Like, you did it. You got it.
That works. That works. So okay, the town has, a rule, which is if anyone causes someone else to die, you got to go in the box. I mean, as you've seen in the first season. Now, on Acosta's first day, she already got someone killed. Well, she already killed someone and
Mhm.
almost got other people killed in the ambulance as well. So my question for you is this: do you think she should be forgiven, or do you think she should go in the box?
Oh, okay. For the box, I don't agree with the box, right?
Oh,
Because the box is murder. You know that the person is going to die when they go in the box. I do think, Acosta coming from a life of law and order would vote for some type of punishment system, not physical punishment, but like a jail cell. Maybe you don't get breakfast that day or something. Like there has to be some type of consequence for what people do. Otherwise, people are just going to do whatever they want to do in the town, and it's going to be pure chaos. So, no to the box. And what was your first was?
or should she be forgiven?
Oh, I mean, I don't think she should be forgiven because she did kill someone and it's on her hands. But I do think they have to cut her a break because she didn't know any of this. If she knew about the supernatural environment and still responded the way that she did, then it would be different. But,
Okay.
in the moment where she's literally coming to terms with the fact that she's in this supernatural world, she's being attacked by these creatures, seeing her friends' throats get slashed, And I think I've seen a lot of people say, why does she keep shooting the monsters? And seeing that the bullets weren't working. And as
I'm
Acosta's
people.
okay, let's check. As Acosta's lawyer, what I would say is if you shoot a bear once, a bear doesn't go down. You have to shoot it multiple times. And secondly, she doesn't know if there's a kill switch on these things. So maybe it's between the eyes, maybe it's the heart, maybe it's the stomach, maybe there's some area on their body where you shoot them and they'll immediately go down. So I think that was how I was justifying what was written in the script at that time, which I think is valid and fair.
Okay. Hey, listen, you know what? I like that explanation because, all we can do is sideline quarterback, on Mondays and just be like, well, I would have taken my bazooka out, or whatever. So I like hearing these other sides and perspectives.
Yeah.
But
and sorry, just to add one other thing that I've said.
Yeah, go ahead.
She did not purposely see and aim and shoot at Nikki. She was shooting and aiming at a monster. Some people think, oh, why did she shoot the woman in the window? She didn't even know there was a woman in the window.
Right. There was a monster that was in the line of sight.
Okay.
Yes, okay. I did catch that. Catch that. So okay, we got the pleasantries out the way. Ma'am, I got some beef. I got some problems with Acosta. How you going? First of all, how dare you? How dare you come on to this scene and you gonna start beef with the lead, the head, the main man, Boyd Stevens? So okay, you guys had an intense scene in the sheriff's station, and so you helped me out. Why do you think Acosta was so mad about Boyd taking her gun, given all the stuff that she's already done?
So I think rewinding to episode 5, you see Acosta go in and offers Boyd help. And I love that scene because you see a mix of remorse. She feels bad. She feels guilty for what she did, but she wants to keep it moving. She wants to help and she wants to be of service, which is what she's given her life to do as a police officer. He wasn't having it. She, obviously we can see that Boyd has been through a lot. Acosta doesn't know that. I don't even think Acosta knows what happened with Randall and the choice that Boyd has to make. So from her perspective, she's just like, every time I see this guy, has a problem with me. So she tried to, kind of help him and team up with him. He said no. So she said, okay, that's fine. I'm going to pivot. I'm going to try a different way. And now we see in episode 7 when she goes in and sort of confronts him. I think for her, I understand that we're in this world and you're the leader of this town, but I am a police officer and you took something that is mine. And I think when you look at what are 2 things that a police officer needs to do their job? 1, a weapon, because they are putting themselves on the front lines. They are in dangerous situations. They need a weapon to protect themselves and to protect others. And 2, you need information. She doesn't have either of those things because no one in the town likes her. She doesn't have a proxy guiding her through this process. So she has no information and now she has no weapon. There is no way she can survive in this town if she doesn't have either of those things. So you see in episode 7, she goes and gets both of those. She goes and talks to Kenny and she tries to get as much information as possible. And then she goes right into the sheriff's station and tries to get her gun back. So she's taking what's hers. Right? You like that? Or what do you think?
First, I had beef with Acosta. Now I got beef with you because you over here changing my mind and I don't like it. Because that made perfect sense.
Right?
It sounds like the gun is part of her identity and that was stripped from her in an already jacked up situation. Is that fair?
Yes, but also to add, it's like you have to teach people how they can treat you. So I think
facts.
I think when she goes in episode 5 and when she first meets Boyd, he sort of attacks her physically, right? In Colony House. So you got that. And she sort of stayed back. Then she tried to help you in the sheriff's station. You said no. She hung back. Now you've taken her gun. So if she keeps allowing the people in the town to treat her this way, she is dead in the water. So it's not like a power trip, I'm the new sheriff in town. It's just like, okay, nobody here likes me. Nobody is helping me. I'm going to die here if I don't try to get information and a weapon to protect myself. Come over to my side. Come over to Team Acosta. Come on.
I don't like
Jump through the screen.
I don't like this because it's making sense. It's making sense.
Shocking.
Okay. Because it's easy. Listen, it's easy to have a linear relationship with a lot of characters. Just be like, I don't like that character. I don't like, but now you're coming in with all these layers. You got all this depth. How dare this? How dare you with this?
Yeah.
Oh.
And you know what I will say is I
Yeah.
always knew that I was in good hands with the creative team on the show. But when I really knew that Acosta was going to be interesting and dynamic was surprisingly the scene when she goes into the sheriff's station in episode 5. Because I thought, as I'm reading it, it's like Acosta goes in after the town meeting. And I thought, oh, please don't write her to be crying and upset and emotional and sort of playing the victim. And it was just written perfect. It was layered and nuanced. And she comes in and she's remorseful, but she is keeping it moving. There are casualties in war, and that's on my hands. And I'm going to do whatever I can do so this doesn't happen again. But we got to keep it moving forward. And I love that about her. Is like she's not just this archetype police officer. Like as the episodes go by, you will see different layers to Acosta.
No, that's facts. I mean, I actually really like the fact that you were like just through your performance, and one thing I always try and tell my audience is to, when you're evaluating an actor and their talent, look at what they're doing when they're not speaking. And I loved what you were doing, just communicating that remorse. Like you visited the grave, you actually, go in there and you're like, ugh, like you literally say it, like you're carrying that as you go along. So I do like the fact that she's not just some one-dimensional type of character, and that she does have that bit of balance to her. Now later on, because you brought up Kenny, that probably was one of my favorite scenes, or there was a favorite moment like in the diner when you were talking and you're just asking real questions. You're like, yo, what's up with this? What's up with this? What are we doing here? And I love it, right? And I love, the scene with you and Ricky, because Ricky's just kind of like, yeah, yeah, I've asked that too, and I feel like as a fan of the show, I'm Ricky. I'm sitting there like, you asking these good questions. But by far, because this show is, I don't know, this place is one of the pettiest places, that Ooh Child started playing on the jukebox.
Yeah.
Did you know that song was going to come on, and how did you feel when it did?
I didn't know that song was going to come on. I think it's hilarious. It's the perfect choice. Obviously, in the moment, like I knew acting it out that the jukebox was going, but they didn't tell us what song it would be. And I just love it because it just sets her over the edge, right? And then she just immediately leaves. She can't deal with this insane place. So I just thought it was perfect. It was perfect. Every song they pick for the jukebox is chef's kiss.
It really is, because I'm sitting here like, I think I'm supposed to be mad, but it is so perfectly timed, and
Yeah.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
So like, are there any is there any aspect of Acosta's character that you really want fans to understand?
I would say that she's a good person. And I think, so far, people have only seen a woman in a uniform, right? And that means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. And I understand that. You see this big action sequence in episode 4, and you don't know the person behind the badge. So you're just judging everything that this sort of police officer is doing. But I'm excited for, as fans begin to see more scenes with Acosta in them, that you get to know what she is behind the badge. And like, that's my job as an actor, is like, I'm told you're playing a rookie police officer from Maine. Here's your uniform, and that's it. And it's my job to sort of put the flesh on those bones and show different sides to her. So she's not on some power trip. She's not trying to take over. Her job in the real world is to protect and serve. And here she wants to do the same thing. She made a mistake and she's going to pay for it, but she wants to keep it moving and she wants to help. She doesn't want to get out just for herself. She wants to get out with everybody else. Like, she wouldn't leave on her own if she had the choice. No man is.
That's interesting. Listen,
Leave no man behind.
I'm here for that. I'm here for that. It is funny you say that, because I feel like if her and Boyd had that conversation, they'd be on the same page,
Yeah.
But last question, so I don't hold you too long. Anyone who has watched this show has come up with a plethora of certain theories or anything of what could happen or what is happening. Do you have any theories Obviously, you don't know what's happening in the future or anything like that, but do you have any certain theories about this show, or maybe some fan theories that you've heard that you're just really, really drawn to?
So I'm going to not answer your question and pivot
Okay.
where I'm going with this. So I do have a theory, but I don't want to share it because although we don't know the answers to everything, I do know what happens for the remainder of the season. So I don't want that to cloud what my theory is, because I sort of know a little bit more than the audience at this point. But what I will say, that if I was in this town as Samantha, what I would do to figure out the answers, and what the show does not have, is a town historian. We need someone who is recording information, events that are going on. I would have a book on every single person in the town: first name, middle name, last name, SIN number, high school boyfriends, all of it. And it would be the library of From. And that to me would be the key to the answer to the show. We need the historian.
I love every piece of what you just said.
Right?
Listen, I've been an advocate for team meetings. That was a terrible idea.
Right.
I've said that everybody at least needs to go talk to Jay, but you know what? I'm here for a town historian. We got a diner person, we got a sheriff, a historian. You did it.
I did it.
You
caught
did it.
Caught by day, librarian by night.
I love it.
Yeah.
Samantha, thank you so much for your time. You're doing a fantastic job on the show. Yeah, can you give people something to look forward to with the final episodes coming up?
So final episode is off the charts. I think people will be shocked and very surprised. It's one of the best episodes of the season. But what I will tease is, and what I love about the final episode is, of course, it doesn't give you the finite answer to everything, because then the show would be over. But what it does do is sort of cut the fat on some of your theories. So if you had a couple theories swirling in your mind, it really helps hone those down and narrow in on sort of just one lane as to where the story is going.
Okay. Y'all heard it from here. Y'all heard it from here. Her first. Hey, Samantha, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it and cannot wait to see what comes up next. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. This was so fun.
If you're new here and you like what you see, don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and don't forget to hit that bell so you don't miss out the next time I drop a video. I've got more videos and reviews to do for you all, and until next time, I'll see you all later.